Boom, everyone, and happy Halloween. This is Bart coming to you. My ibüümerang brother Rudy is returning from Baltimore to New York, and so he should be here tomorrow. I'm not sure whether I will be or not. My flight leaves early in the morning to get to New York, and I should be there in time to jump online. But just want to wish everyone a happy Halloween. And as you can see, I am dressed for Halloween as a travel savings ambassador for ibüümerang, and that's who I'm going as this Halloween and every day thereafter as well. Today I want to talk about some things. First, it's Halloween, so what evil thoughts are holding you back? Last night we had the most incredible event here in St. Louis. Two of our leaders, our executive team leaders, Diamonds, Spencer Iverson and Mr. Jonathan Green, were here to provide us some training and some insight. And one of the things that really to encapsulate this whole event, Jonathan and Spencer were invited by Holton Buggs himself to sit around a table and for Holton Buggs to share the vision of what became ibüümerang. At the time they sat around that table, didn't even have a name. It was just a vision of what Holton Buggs, our CEO, wanted to create and how we were going to use the travel industry as a service model for that. And it really just blew my mind and really gave me unstoppable momentum to sit there and listen to these two guys talk. And, Spencer and Jonathan, for me personally, both of them are mentors to me. They're real, they're genuine, they're authentic. They will be there to help you every step of the way, but you have to come to the plate with something too. You have to step up to the base with a bat, ready to hit the ball. If you just walk onto the field, you're just walking onto the field. Hey, Kelly, good seeing you last night there at the meeting as well. And so I started thinking about this, and Peggy asked a real valuable question. And hey, Rosie, and so the question that she asked, she said, I want to talk to some businesses about my business and try to go down that road and see what we can have. And she asked Mr. Iverson, how do you approach someone like that? And his response, I thought, was absolute genius. He said, if you go to someone cold and just walk in and start talking to them, you are at a disadvantage because they don't know who you are. They're not sure if you're selling something, if you're giving something away, if you're asking a question. They don't know who you are. And it's just a cold introduction. A better way is when you know someone, when you have that interaction between them and they see you and they know that you're a genuine person. That makes a complete different approach to how you're working with them. And let's say that maybe you don't know them. But let's say I go up to Kelly and I'll say to Kelly, hey, Kelly, my name is Bart. I know you don't know me, but Peggy referred me to you. Peggy and I are good friends. I know you and Peggy are good friends. Right there, you have an immediate connection. So, don't be afraid to start and don't let evil thoughts keep you away from building that genuine relationship with someone, because that is where you begin to make success happen. And not just in a business like ibüümerang, but in your life. That is where those things begin to happen. So I had to thinking about last night, thinking about today, and knew that Rudy probably would not be on the call today. And I thought, what can I share with you guys? What nuggets out there? And there's a book that's kind of my Bible when it comes to personal development and success and all. And it's this book right here. It's called Brian Tracy's No Excuses. And you can tell, man, it's full of nuggets. Look at all the places in there that I marked things. But this book is amazing because that's really what life should be, is no excuses. And to kind of start out our conversation today, I want to read you a couple of things from this. And Brian Tracy says that he discovered that you can achieve almost any goal you set for yourself if you have the discipline to pay the price, to do what you need to do, and to never give up. And we've talked many times here, the only way to fail is to give up. Hey, Peggy, welcome to the call. is to give up. That's the only way you can fail. Brian Tracy goes further on and says, perhaps the most important insight of all with regard to success is that to achieve greatly, you must become a different person. And he talks about the quality of the person you must become. In order to become successful, you must accomplish well above average. And that's what Mr. Spencer Iverson was talking about last night with Peggy. He was saying it's those interpersonal relationships. It's getting those segues in. It's getting a warm introduction from someone else. Because that right there gives you the edification that you need to approach someone with what you've got planned and what you're looking to create. Let me go to the next one here. And he says that if you've got short-term goals, and you really shoot for those short-term goals, Brian Tracy says short-term gain can cause long-term pain. And here's what he says about this. There's two laws that you will fall victim to when you fail to practice self-discipline. Okay? Talk about self-discipline here, doing what it takes to become that quality person to go above average. The first law is called the law of unintended consequences. Again, it's the law of unintended consequences. And this law states that the unintended consequences of an action can be far worse than the intended consequences of that behavior because of long-term thinking. So what does that mean? Let's say you jump the gun and shoot from the hip and you make something happen. And then you realize, uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. Right there, those are unintended consequences. You didn't think it through. You didn't talk to your accountability partner or even to your vent partner. You didn't talk to the people that you surround yourself with. Remember, as we're talking about this, you are the average of the 5 people that you most associate with. You may need to change up who those 5 people are. He said the second law is the law of perverse consequences. And that means a short-term action aimed at immediate gratification can lead to perverse or the opposite consequences from those at which it was aimed. So if you try to do something just to feel good, then it's going to have some real consequences to it. For example, let's say you go out and you party hard and you drink quite a bit and you feel really good that night. What are the perverse consequences the next morning? You're not going to feel as good as you thought you would. He says successful people make a habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people don't like to do. Let me say that again. Successful people make a habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people do. The fact that you prevent yourself from doing something that unsuccessful people don't like to do, that's an evil thought. You're telling yourself you're not worthy of that. Successful people are more concerned with pleasing results, whereas failures were more concerned about pleasing methods. Pleasing results versus pleasing methods. He says, successful, happy people are more concerned with positive, long-term consequences of their behaviors, whereas unsuccessful people are more concerned with personal enjoyment and immediate gratification. One of the things he talks about in here is about going to the gym and exercising. And the thing that we know is that to be successful, you got to be successful in your whole body. That means your mind, your spirituality, your thought processes, what you eat, your physical fitness, the whole bit. And if you've ever worked out, you know that there comes a point in time, if you work out every day or maybe 5 times a week, there comes a point in time when if you skip a day, you feel bad because your body says, I need that. That's what you've got to do in life to also be successful. The key to everything is hard work. He says the indispensable requirement for hard work is, here it comes, self-discipline. Success is possible only when you can overcome the natural tendency to cut corners and take the easy way. Lasting success is possible only when you can discipline yourself to hard work for a long, long time. And he talks about self-discipline and character. And let's talk about that a minute. He mentions what are called great virtues. And here are the great virtues that Brian Tracy lays out: courage, compassion, generosity, temperance, persistence, and most importantly, friendliness. Again, courage, compassion, generosity, temperance, persistence, and most important, friendliness. When you combine all these things together, guess what you just created? Integrity. I'll never forget the first time I ever met Holton Buggs. We were down in Houston, and he was talking to a group of us, and someone said, "Man, you know, I love what you guys bring to the table." He said, "You bring so much integrity." And Holton Buggs looked at the person and said, "How do you know? You just met me." His philosophy, which I subscribe to, is give me 1% of your trust and let me earn the other 99%. And when you do that, you combine all those great virtues that Brian Tracy talks about here. He said, it is your level of integrity, living in complete truth with yourself and others, that demonstrates more than anything else the quality of your character. When your level of integrity is higher, you are more honest with yourself and more likely to live consistently with all the other values that you admire and respect. This past Saturday, we had a boot camp here in St. Louis, and I did a thing on the 4 steps to success, which are the 4 agreements. And we've talked about those on these calls. But I mentioned something that goes hand in hand with this whole thing of integrity. And this is not a political statement, though it comes from a political person. But if you think back to the 2016 election that took place here in the United States, and even to today, in any country, any place, any society, you've got a lot of bad mouthing, you've got a lot of gossiping, you've got a lot of turmoil and dissension, and it's easy to play and feed on those emotions. And when that happens, then you start to become less of integrity driven and more of reactionary. But it was Michelle Obama who said, when they go low, we go high. And that is the definition of what we're talking about here of integrity. If someone is bad-mouthing someone, if someone that you're around starts to gossip or makes comments, when they go low, you go high. All of life is a test. Wisdom can be developed in private through study and reflection, like what I did with Brian Tracy here. But character can be developed only in the give and take of daily life. And that's what I love about ibüümerang. It's based on the model that when you throw goodwill out, goodwill comes back to you. That doesn't happen very often, unfortunately, anymore. And there's a great video out there that Holton Buggs himself did. It talks about the golden rule. And the golden rule says, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But he takes it up a level to the platinum rule, and that is he looks at that person and he models from that person and works with them and treats them as though he feels they want to be treated. He says, study the values you admire. It's called the law of concentration. Whatever you dwell upon grows and increases in your life. And I'm going to stop right there for a moment and talk about that. Whatever you dwell upon grows and increases in your life. Thoughts are things. What you think about, you become. If you think you're fat and ugly, guess what? people are going to see you as fat and ugly because that's what you think of yourself. But if you see yourself as a person of vibrance and importance, they're going to see you that way as well. Hello to Ranelle that joined, and to Jen. Hey, welcome. Great seeing you last night as well at the meeting. Your thoughts are so critical, and it's what it is that takes you to the next level. You know, one of the things I talked about in the boot camp is I put my name up there, Bart, comma, PhD. Does that mean I have a doctorate? Not when all three letters are capital, because PhD stood for person heading to diamond. Diamond's one of our top leadership ranks here. So I'll wake up every day and I visualize myself being that diamond. As I'm packing my suitcase this afternoon to go to New York in the morning, I'm packing as if I'm a diamond. I'm packing as if I am Jonathan Green and Spencer Iverson taking a trip to go and have an impact somewhere. I'm not someone that's just going up to sit in a seat to hear Holton Bugs. I visualize myself in a whole different capacity. The second thing he says is emulate the people you most admire. Much of your character is determined by the people you most admire, both living and dead. I work on this a lot. There are some people that I have never met that I truly admire. And I'll give you some examples. A few weeks back, I talked about Apollo Ono. Another one, Keanu Reeves. I did meet him for a short time many years ago in Los Angeles, and we talked for a few moments. But the lifestyle that Keanu Reeves lives, it's very simple, and he gives back. Another person, Viola Davis. Where she came from to where she is today. There are people that impact you in your life. And those are people you admire and you want to emulate. In other words, practice the values that you respect. I want to finish up today with this little piece here. And it comes, again, about self-discipline and goals. And Jim Rohn, another one who is a big guru in the field of personal development, says discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Your dreams are your goals. The action you take leads to the accomplishments. He says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. The very act of taking time to decide what you really want in each area of your life can change your life completely. And he has this thing called the 3% factor. And here it goes. Only 3% of adults have written goals. Only 3%. You have goals written? Using this mathematical formula here, of all the people on this call, maybe one person has written goals. Did you know that if you have written goals and you work to bridge between goals and accomplishment, those 3% earn more than all of the other 97% put together? Give you one more example of how powerful that is. When Holton Bugs got Mr. Iverson and Mr. Green and so many other people around that table to share a vision and to start to lay out what ibüümerang was going to become, this was back in January of this year. And they only had a few weeks until we all met on March 9th down in Houston, and the pre-launch kicked off on March 11th. And there were 1,000 people there on March 9th. And then only a few months until we kicked off opened the doors to the company officially on September 1. But here's what that vision can do when you've got goals and you write them down and you work toward it and you have a team of people doing it. Between that very first meeting and the time in which we opened the doors up, Labor Day weekend, those short 9 months, ibüümerang did more than Uber, Apple, and Amazon did in their first 2 years combined. Write down your goals, get a plan of action, become one of that top 3%, and you will have more than 97% of what anyone else has out there. Charles, welcome to the call. Guys, it's been my pleasure. The reason I want to mention this was that, today is Halloween. Go out, celebrate, eat candy, have some fun out there, if you will, but get those evil thoughts that are holding you back out of your head. This book here, No Excuses. Great book. Pick it up. It's an easy read. As you can see, I've got all kinds of nuggets in here. Surround yourself with people that inspire you. There's this great channel called YouTube. Go out there and just look for motivational stuff. Fill your day, start your day, end your day with some motivation out there to keep you going. Rudy should be here tomorrow. I hope to be back with you tomorrow. It depends what time my plan lands in Jersey and how fast I can get out to get to a place to join you. But I hope to see you tomorrow. If not, for sure, we're going to be coming to you live from Jersey Saturday with Holton Bugs. If you want some more information about ibüümerang, in my comment section or anyone that invited you to this call, just write down, tell me more, and we'll send you information. If you want to see this piece of technology we have and see what it's all about, just type 2 letters, M-E, me, and we'll send it to you. Until tomorrow, have a great Halloween. God bless you. Boom, everyone.